Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Amira. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you having a good summer holiday or busy with studies?
Kind of busy.
It's your summer holiday time right now.
Yeah.
So when will your school start? Next month
Um,
or
yeah, in September.
September? Second Monday, right?
Mhm. Yeah, probably.
I see. Probably. So still you're not sure.
Yeah. I still need to check.
Good. So you are busy with what? With different classes, or how many classes are you having now?
Right now, I don't really have any classes from school, but I do have homework that I need to do, like summer homework, like projects and stuff.
From school.
Yeah, because of quarantine, we didn't really, the online lessons we had, they weren't really like learning new things in some subjects. We were just revising. So a lot of my work over summer is just researching new topics to make a presentation for the class.
Okay. So when will you do this presentation or submit this work? When the school
Uh,
opens or you are doing
yeah,
now?
when the school opens.
Oh, I see. So your teacher will be quite busy when the school opens.
Mm.
Yeah, giving project, giving homework, giving tests. It is not easy. And after that, collecting this stuff and checking, grading, that is more challenging and time-consuming job.
Yeah.
Not so easy. Anyway, let's see. Learning is a part of our life, isn't it? We go to
Mm-hmm.
school, we just know how to write, how to read, how to speak, and how to do something in a good way. It takes at least 20, 25 years. Even after you graduate from university, just start to work, still you're not very sure if you can do that or not. It takes a couple of years. And after that, you start gaining experience, and you're already 35, 40, maybe 10, 15 years after that you get old. Anyway, actually, what I think is learning, we do actually learn not to achieve something. It's a kind of part of our life. This is how I understand about learning, because sometimes a lot of students, they just learn to do something, to achieve something. Okay, we of course, we only just learn something, definitely it will pay off in the future. But actually we need to learn because it's a part of our life. Every time something comes up that's new, we have to learn. Now we have smartphone, we have a lot of new programs, and every time everything is changing. And that's why learning must be a part of our life. Anyway, this is at least how I understand about learning. It's not even I'm teaching at university, still I feel that I have to learn a lot of things. And that's why we just keep reading books and watch videos to learn something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Amira, today what we are gonna do, number one is we will discuss your tests, okay? And still, I'm not sure actually, I have not much idea in what intention, actually, what mood you are doing the test, as if like you just like this, or you feel a kind of pressure, that's why you are doing this, I don't know, okay? But soon I will find it out, maybe after 3 or 4 tests. And test actually maybe it's a bit classical way, but this is the only way to see our progress and to see our knowledge, right? And
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, we just learn, and actually our eyes may deceive us. We may think that okay, we learn a lot of things, we can do a lot of stuff, but when you are left alone to do something, it is very, very different, okay? And that's why in the exam, students are not allowed to use anything, any material, so they have to put everything into the paper. And that's why on this purpose, I'm giving you a test. As you see, actually, it's just a private class. You are not going to fail the class by getting low scores. After I can see your progress and weak points, accordingly, I will prepare my classes for you, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
at least I expect you to understand this test in this way. So now let me just open this, your test, and see that together. Okay. All right. Your score is 6-1. You may object this or you may not agree with this, but I'm just going to keep giving feedback. All right. It's not because you don't know something. After all, you are a student. As a teacher, for example, and I have been teaching math for many, many years. When I give a question, what do I expect from students? Actually, most of the teachers, we want to see their work because when you just write everything, I can see how you are thinking about a problem. And that's why we want to see your work. Here, let's start with question 1. Amir, if you have any objection, different idea, feel free to share with me, okay? So
Okay.
you may not agree with this score or anything, it's fine. After all, I'm open to different ideas. I really want to listen to you, how you think. This I always ask my students, it's something that you don't like, let me know. I don't get hurt. After all, my goal is to teach something, all right? Not only to keep you busy, and also you must be you should try to learn something from this class. Anyway, for example, question 1, okay, you just wrote the answers, it's fine. The solutions are good, but here in the test, since you are not allowed to use anything, Amira, you need to write everything here. At least you need to show one step here. Okay, smallest value of x minus 1 is 3. How did you get this 3? Okay, so the smallest value may be 2 minus 1, right? And I'm hoping that this is how you got this one. The smallest value here is, at least if you just show one step here, for example, smallest value, let's say just s, let's say equal to minimum value of x, that is 2 minus negative 1. Now I can see here, you are just picking the smallest value of x and the maximum value of y from here. Then if you evaluate this, that is your word that you have to show here. Okay, one step to verify your answer. And for all other things, also the same thing here, you showed your answer, but after that, I don't know why you didn't simplify this. Okay, that is 5 over negative 1, and immediately you have to simplify this, leave your answer as negative 5. So I can read from here, okay, this is your word, this is your final result. The same thing here, 2 over negative 4, and if you simplify this, the answer must be minus 1 over 2. Okay, these are just feedback for you. The same thing here, question 2, because in most exams, at least 1 or 2 steps actually must be provided to verify your answer. Those steps are, for example, in here, you need to find cube. Okay, here we have x cube equals something, right? By the definition, to find x, we need to take cube root of both sides. So here we have x equals cube root of this and equals, what is this thing? We should write this one as maybe 27. Over here we have 1 million, and we can write it as 3 over 100 cube. All right, then you can just take this out of the root here. So this is, we can see your work. Your answer is correct, but here you didn't show your work here. At least one side we have to show this. Okay. Continue. B, all right, no problem. And also here, if you just write your answer next to each other, it's better in quadratic equations. How about B? Amir, you didn't understand the question, I think. Is it because of this word at 6 for a dollar?
I know that I didn't understand it because when I did it, like I just got that he made back the same money that he bought. So I think I didn't understand it.
But
Maybe the
here,
word.
grammatically, is there any mistake here? Like, for example, in UK, because you know there's a difference between British English and American English and Australian English and Singaporean English.
No, I think it's fine. I think I just didn't understand the question.
Yeah, you understand the question, but is there a mistake here in UK? How would you ask this question? For example, if you're selling 6 oranges for a dollar, how would you ask that question? Do you say that at 6 for a dollar or in different way? How would you ask? How would you make your question?
We
Like in
normally
a
just say like a batch of 6 for a
six
pound or a dollar or
6 for
whatever.
a dollar doesn't make a sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay then. Okay, if the question is clear, it's a little bit related to, I mean, not a little bit, it's a business question because it is taught in business transaction or just financial transactions. Actually, that's application of mathematics in practical situations. That is a topic there that's taught in grade 8. Anyway, a man purchased 300 oranges at 6 for a dollar, right? That means that 6 for a dollar means if 6 oranges, let's say for $1, and 600 oranges for how much? We can find it from here, right? What is x here? X equals 300 divided by 6. That is $50. So that means that he bought, or is this 300 oranges for $50. Usually, how do you call this in business? We call this cost price, right? Cost price, because you are spending this money and you're going to sell this to other people, and difference will be your profit. And he sold them at 5 for a dollar. Now to find the selling price equals he's selling them at 5 for a dollar. How many oranges we have? We have 300. And we're just packing them 5 in one packet. And this one is $1, right? Which is equal to $600. So what was his gain? Gain is profit. So his profit equals selling price minus cost price, the difference. If selling price is less than cost price, at that time we call this a loss, right? Otherwise it is a profit. So here, selling price, we sold this for $60. Actually, we bought it for $50. So here our profit is $10. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't understand that question.
Yeah, I thought maybe this part you didn't understand. I don't know actually how in UK people actually ask that question. That's why I asked you. Because last time I actually asked similar question to Ihlas, that's Mr. Bahadir's son. Also, he didn't understand. He said, a man purchased 300 oranges, but his question was different, a bit different question. That's for grade 7 level, and 6 for a dollar. And he understood like this: a man purchased 300 oranges at 6 o'clock for a dollar. And I said, how come you understand like this? We are saying at 6 for a dollar. And he said, yeah, it may be a time. I didn't understand this
Yeah,
question.
I think I thought it was time as well.
Yeah, that's
Because
why I asked.
normally you'd say like a batch of 6 or a batch of 5 for a dollar.
You mean a batch like this
Yeah,
of 6?
yeah.
Hmm.
Because I thought it was time as well, I think. I can't remember
Okay.
anymore, but
Good. All right. I will note this. I will have already noted this, and also I will ask this to our American teachers. We have some teachers teaching English here from the USA. Let's see how they understand. Because sometimes, some questions, of course, it's a bit different in UK books and USA books, and also Singaporean books or Australian books. Some questions, it's one type, I think, like this, 6 for a dollar. This book was published in Singapore, but actually it's for IGCSE and the O-level students. Anyway, and in case, if you actually pop up to meet your English teacher or English grammar teacher, you may ask, is it the right sentence or not? I'm really interested. And also I will ask our teachers. Okay, let's continue then. I mean, these questions, did you just solve them without using a calculator, or you use a calculator?
I did it on paper.
But how did you
Because there
calculate
was
this
not enough
question B,
space.
for example?
Yeah, I wrote it out, so I did 999,988 times itself.
Did you use this formula? Because here we have a squared minus b squared, that's
Yeah,
equal to
yeah.
a minus b, a plus. Very good. Actually, this is what we expect from the students. Usually we need to calculate this mentally without using a calculator, because the sum of these two numbers actually ends with zeros, right? Good.
Mm.
If you use these methods using algebra, that's good. And how about question 5? Yeah, it's just small mistake. I think maybe you got confused. We just take this a as minus to the left-hand side. Here it is multiplied, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you should
Oh
divide both.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you divide both sides by 2a, at the time we will have v squared minus u squared over 2a.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I mean, if you understand your mistake, no problem. Okay, this is fine. How about question 6? Did you ever solve this similar question I made before?
No.
Do you have any idea how can we solve this problem? A is done. You did this. Okay, you just use
Yeah.
Pythagorean theorem. All right. In question B, it says calculate the volumes of 2 appropriate cones and use your results to estimate the volume of the solids.
I didn't understand the question, like what it was asking me. Like what is the what does it mean by 2 appropriate cones?
Yeah, that is
Because
a
this isn't a cone, this is a frustum.
okay. Usually, maybe if you actually maybe you have never solved questions. I mean, similar to this. That's why the question might not be clear for you. But usually when we actually try to obtain a formula for the surface area or volume of a frustum, the frustum is a kind of cone and top part is just cut off, right? And we just use this idea. Here, if I draw 2 cones, let's say this one is the big one. All right. And I just cut off this cone. Let's say its height is h, the radius is r. All right, let me just call this one as r, and this height is capital H. And if I just cut off this from here, okay. So now we have another small cone here, this top part, right? And also its base radius, let's say base radius is lowercase r, and its height is h, okay? And the volume of the big one is, let's say, capital V sub 1, and volume of this small cone, the top part, is capital sub 2. Then what is the volume of this frustum? The volume of this frustum will be the big cone, right? Big cone, it is capital V1 minus just the volume of this small cone, that is V sub 2. Does it make
Oh,
sense?
okay. Yeah, I was confused about what it meant by 2 appropriate cones, but now I get it.
Yeah, actually, these are the cones. In general, this is how we obtain surface area or what is it, the volume of the frustum in this way. We just, because frustum means we have given a cone and top part is just cut off, the remaining part is called frustum. That is a frustum. Do you think that you can solve this problem, Amira?
Um, Not sure,
Yeah,
but at
think
least I
about.
get the concept.
Yeah, I will give you the, I will ask this question a bit later after we finish discussing about these problems. Okay, because this is a little bit challenging question. Not every student can solve this because you need to use some different, how to say, also you need to use some different methods here. Just knowing the volume of the cone, it doesn't help here. Okay, we will see this soon. Just keep in your mind, you will just solve this a bit later. We open new page for that. And question 7, and also I think maybe you got confused or maybe you forgot about significant figures. It says 3 significant figures, but you wrote here 4 digits, 4 significant figures.
Oh, freeze. Okay.
Significant means starting from the first non-zero number, right?
Yeah.
And take just here 3 digits. So it should be, the first one should be 4.11.
Yeah.
The second one will be 0.608, only 3 digits. Okay. And how about question B? You said did
We
this
did that
already.
in. We've done that together.
Are they exactly the same questions?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Oh.
You know, this is a different question. Similar question, but this is a different question. That question was a bit different. The idea is the same, everything is the same, but here the numbers, the times, it's a bit different. It's not exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can show you that question, but it's different. Okay, and also you have to solve this. I will see. I'll get this equation, and I think you don't have a problem. And how about 9a?
Yeah, I got confused.
Confused with what? How to?
Yeah.
Because here only, maybe you got confused, but you didn't put parentheses here because squaring both sides. And after that, we just have a squared over b squared, just constant numbers. 2x minus 3 and 3x plus 5, right?
Oh.
I can just consider this as one number. Let's say this capital A and capital B. It doesn't matter. It's just a constant number. So how do you do that? Cross multiply, right? And solve it for x. It's just a linear equation in x. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can do this here. I mean, it's 3a squared x. If you cross multiply plus 5a squared. On the right-hand side, we have 2b squared x minus 3b squared. Now the terms that has x, we should just take them to one side. I said to the left-hand side, 3a squared minus 2b squared. And here we have x. The right-hand side, minus 5a squared minus 3b squared. Now if we divide both sides by this expression, then we have x, right? Minus over. So we have make x the subject of the formula. That means that's just leave x alone on the left-hand side and everything else, write them on the right-hand side. Good. How about question C? It's about number sequence. Actually, to answer this question, first you need to write a formula for a general term. Maybe you didn't write this, that's why you couldn't solve this question. I mean, the number 3. How did you get this 28? Just counting the dots?
Yeah. No, basically, I saw that there was like the difference between the number of each was going up by 1. So I just added the difference between 15 and 21 because there was 15 in figure 5 and 21 in figure 6. The difference between them is 6. So the difference between the next set would be 7. So I just added 7 to 21 to get 28.
Good. So if you just continue this, here we have the first one is 1, right? 3. Next one is, what is it? 6? 6, I think. That is 10, is 15, and 21. Did you write 21? Yes, 21, right? And after that, you said seventh figure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seventh figure, 28. And dot, dot, dots. And if you recognize this, actually, this is very popular number sequence, and every number sequence problem in almost every book, even Russian book, Chinese book, Singaporean book, they give this example in American books, UK books. That's one very popular example. So what do you notice here? If you notice here, this one is 1, 3, 6, 9, 15, 21, 28. These numbers are just the sum of the first n natural numbers. For example, the first term, 1, right? What is 1? 1 equals 1 times 2 over 2. The second one, 3, it's the second term. So that is 2 times 3 over 2. And this one is the third term. That is 6. So this 3 times 4 over 2. And this one, 15, for example, is fifth term. So that's 15. That's equal to 5 times 6 over 2. Because as you know, if you're given the first n natural numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus n, how do you find this? Using this formula, n times n plus 1 over 2. And how do you get this formula? It's very easy proof. You just write this in reverse order, like S equals N plus N minus 1 plus N minus 2 plus blah blah 3 plus 2 plus 1. And just side by side, on the left hand side we have 2S, on the right hand side we have N plus 1, N plus 1, N plus 1. How many N plus 1s? Since actually we have N terms, so here we have N times N plus 1. On the right hand side 2S, divide both sides by 2, we get this formula. Anyway, so here using this one, how about 210? Let's say this one is n's term. This one is n's term. On the left hand side, we have n times n plus 1 over 2. So now we have to solve this equation to find n. In which term actually we use 210 bits. Yeah, and if you just solve this, what we have here, n times n plus 1 equals, here we have 2 times 210. Okay, what is it? It is 420. 420, it is just the product of two consecutive numbers. What are those numbers? 20 squared is 400. It should be closer to 20, right? So it is 20 times 21 is equal to 420. On the left hand side, we have n times n plus 1. So dot, 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 that n must be 20. So in 20's term, that will be 210 bits.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Okay, these questions are fine. Only here that small mistake. Yes, and if you have seen this, here we have x squared equals 1 over 9. A lot of students make this mistake. What is x? It should be plus minus 3, 1 over 3, right? Because usually how we solve this equation is equation. Here we have x squared minus 1 over 9 equals 0. And if you solve this by factorization, x minus 1 over 3 and x plus 1 over 3 is equal to 0. That's why it has two answers, 1 over 3 and minus 1 over 3.
Mm-hmm.
So only with sign, actually, my mistake. And Amira, every time when I ask you questions, I'm going to add two a little bit challenging or different questions from previous grades, maybe from grade 6 or 7. These are those questions, question 11 and 12 from different source. But you couldn't solve both of these questions. I don't know, you didn't understand or you were tired and, when you just come to these questions. Now, how did you understand question 11?
So I just need to figure out how many turns it needs to make. And that's basically the amount of times 21 goes into the length of the well, the height of the well, right?
Yeah. So here, why did you multiply by 100? I didn't understand this. Why did you multiply by 100? Changing meter into centimeters.
Yeah.
Okay. And after that, you divide by 21.
Then,
Why?
yeah. Because if
21 is,
one, if
21 is just
one,
diameter, right?
oh, it's the diameter. Okay, I thought that was the circumference.
No, it's just a diameter.
Well, then I have to do
Yeah, only here, yeah, you have to divide by circumference. Maybe you understood actually your method is correct, but here you didn't find the circumference.
Yeah, I didn't read it properly.
Yeah, if you just find the circumference, then that is d, actually pi times d. So that's equal, what is d? 21, 21 pi. So if you just divide this by 21 times pi, you would get the right answer.
Yeah,
so
my
actually,
bad. I didn't read the question properly.
It will be 15. Yeah, maybe you confuse the diameter. Okay, if you understood the problem, that's good.
I get my mistake, yeah.
And how about question 12?
I didn't understand what it was asking for.
Really? You didn't understand the question?
I couldn't like visual, because you tell me that I need to draw like
Okay.
the question
Did you
first,
draw?
but I couldn't visualize it, so I was just like confused.
Okay. Let's solve this together. And other questions, maybe next session, you will try to solve some of them. And this way we will finish about this test too. To solve this question, first, okay, let's draw this. And after that, maybe I'll give you how we should solve this question. We are actually talking about a kind of trapezium, and it's not drawn to scale. Let me just draw any trapezium. Okay, it says that AD is parallel to BC. So if this corner is A, there should be B, and there should be C, there should be D. As you see here, AD, this side, is parallel to BC, this side, right? So it's a trapezium. The diagonals AC and BD of the trapezium intersects at E. Okay, so they intersect each other at E. Let's say here, the first diagonal, this one is the second diagonal. So that is the intersection point E. And it says that if the length of BD, so the length of BD, right, and BE are in the ratio 5:4. What does it mean? It means that BD to BE is 5:4, right? What does it mean? It means that if the length of BD is 5P, let's say, the length of BE must be 4P, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean? It means that the length of BE, if this one is 4P, then what is the length of DE?
Isn't it just what's it called? 5p.
P, only P. I mean ED, not BD.
Oh,
ED.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Since
p.
BD is 5P, right? So this part is B
Yeah.
is 4P, so it should be P.
Take it away and it's just p. There's only
Yeah.
one.
And also, and actually, anyway, let's just write, it says, all right, and the area of ABE, this ABE, let's just write here, let me just write here, this one is capital A sub 1, this area is capital A sub 2, and this one is capital F sub 3, and A4, this one is A4, and because I don't want to write those letters again and again. And let's say the area of ABE, it is A1, AED, that is A2, DEC, that is A3, and BCE, that is A4. And what we know here is A1 is given, right? That's equal to 20 centimeters squared. Okay. What is the question? We need to find the area of the trapezium. That means that the area of the trapezium, so we need to find this thing. A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. To answer this question, I need to know this area, A2, A3, A4. Anyway, I will use this thing. We have a very simple formula here. Assume that we are given a triangle, any kind of triangle, okay? And let me just divide this side into 2. Let me draw any line, it doesn't matter, okay? So let's say this one is A, actually it doesn't, we don't need this. Let me just write B. And what will be the height from this point to this side? The height from this point to this side will be this thing.
A plus b.
No, height, altitude.
Oh, okay.
This thing, right? Let's say this
Yeah.
H. And if the area of this triangle is, let's say A, area of this part is equal to B, then what will be the ratio of A to B? A to B, how do you find this? The area of this A, actually this capital A equals 1/2 times base times height, right? Over, in a similar way, how about capital B? 1/2 times base, here base is B, times height. Right? As see here, the sides are cancel each other. H is common, 1/2. That's equal to just A over B. So area, I mean this capital A to capital B equals A to B, the ratio of their corresponding sides, right? if I just use this idea to this triangle ABD, the first one, triangle, look at triangle ABD, right? And that is just divided by AE, right? This BD is divided by AE. That means that A1 over A2, the ratio of the area should be the ratio of their size. That's equal to 4P. That is our A here. It is 4P. And how about this side? That's equal to P, which is equal to just 4, right?
Yeah.
So do we know A1? We know it's given. It's equal to 20. So from here, we can find A2. Then what is A2? A2 is equal to 5 centimeters squared. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. So now we know A2. So the question is, how about A3 and A4? Okay, I will stop soon. We'll have break. I will show another thing here that we have to know. If you're given any trapezium, since these sides are parallel, if you draw diagonals, okay, so this parallel means that this angle is equal to this angle, right? These are alternate
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
know
also,
about like alternate.
yeah, this angle and this angle also, they are equal, and these are just vertical angles. They are equal. So what can we say about these two triangles? That means that these two triangles are
They're similar.
similar,
Yeah.
right? And similar means their corresponding sides are proportional, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that let me just denote this one by X, this one by Y, this one by A, this one by B. So corresponding sides, opposite this angle, we have X, over opposite this angle, we have Y. That's equal to opposite this angle, and here, let's start. So here we have A, opposite this angle, we have B. So X over Y equals A over B, right? So
Yeah.
for trapezium, we have this formula using this idea. I'll say here, if I just use that relationship for this trapezium AE, from here AE, let me change my, all right. Here we have AE over EC is equal to, here we have, what is it? DE, that is P over EB, that is 4P, which is equal to 1 over 4, right? So that means
Yeah.
that if this side is AE is, let's say, it is Q, then this EC must be 4Q. It must be in this relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now using the same thing, Amira, just we can find other areas. If you look at this triangle, for example, here we have ADC or ACD, right? Do we know A2? We know, right? It's equal to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Q. Then what can you say about the area of DCE? It's just the ratio of their size, right? So it is Q over 4Q. That means that this area must be 4 times as big as this area, right?
Yeah.
Because sides are, this side is EC is 4 times as long as AC. So this area is 5. So this area should be 4 times 5, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about if you if you look at this triangle BCD? BCD, again, this one is P, this one is 4P. If this area is 20, this area must be 4 times 20. This should be 80.
Oh, okay.
So the total area is 80 plus 20, 100, 100 plus 20, 120, 120 plus 5, 125. So the area is ... 125 centimeters squared.
Okay.
It's about you need to use similarity and the ratio. It's a little bit challenging question, but it's fine. Okay, I'm going to have some rest. After maybe 9 minutes, we will continue. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.